Hello, we are live on YouTube. I have a couple minutes here before 8, and I'm gonna kind of sit here a little bit and see if anyone joins us. Since this is new, I'm kind of feeling it out. I have done many a live Facebook class, but never on YouTube. So, I guess I will introduce myself while I'm waiting to see if anyone comes on and joins us. My name is Katie Lunstra. I live in Janesville, Wisconsin, and I grew up in the Chicago area, moved here 2 years ago. I am married to my husband we'll be married 6 years in December, Shannon, and we have 4 kiddos. We have a 10-and-a-half-year-old girl, Maddie. We have twins, boy-girl twins that are 5. We'll be going into kindergarten next year, Delaney and Caden. And then we have, she's like 16 months old now, Evelyn. So we have 3 girls, a boy. I'm a stay-at-home mom, work-at-home mom, do the oils, stay at home with the kiddos. And there can be some stressful times of the day. And so oils come in handy a lot for us. A little bit of a backstory of how I got into oils. I, about 4 or 5 years ago, kind of got a little bit more natural minded, was looking at the products in our home, really kind of trying to ditch and switch those toxic personal care products. Saw that the aluminum in deodorant is not good for you, and for highly fragranced things in detergents, laundry detergents, and like cleaning products and shampoos, conditioners, all sorts of stuff, sprays for the air, candles, all that stuff. I kind of started to realize it wasn't so great for me, and it was actually causing a lot of like headaches and different just kind of like anxious feelings and just some not so great stuff. And my kiddos, around that time, 4 years ago, started having like more and more issues with their skin. So they say, the first thing you should do is evaluate what detergent you're using. And instead of switching to like just a different conventional detergent, we sort of just did an overhaul of everything. And so in doing that, essential oils my mom got into essential oils, and we were already making kind of these more natural-minded changes. So it kind of led itself to looking at some more natural ways of staying healthy, preventing certain things, and then supporting certain things that, came up, like tummy issues or seasonal issues or, sleep issues. We have a lot of emotions in this family. We do a lot in terms of using oils to support emotions. But today I am going to, so real quick. So I actually joined Young Living in December and had used Young Living oils for a long time, then kind of started to trickle back into like, oh, I can buy these at the grocery store. It's like, doesn't really matter. Doesn't make a difference, but it does make a difference. And in December, my husband and I kind of decided if we're gonna do oils, we want to be using the purest products, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. And not just some junk we're finding like at Walmart. So I got my kit for like birthday, Christmas, anniversary, all rolled into one. And I've really kind of fallen like again in love with Young Living oils and just all their products. And it's really helped kind of like revamp our whole non-toxic focus for our family. So I'm going to talk to you today about kind of just basics of essential oils. So if you have maybe heard about them, but you're like really have no clue as to how you use them or what they are, you're in the right place. I'm going to do a series of videos that kind of like progress from this basic 101 class that will dive more into using oils. And then I'll do some videos about specific areas that need to be supported with oils, like in terms of emotions and hormones and your immune system and oils for sleep and all that kind of good stuff. And then I'm also going to focus on particular oils in a whole series where I'm going to kind of highlight like 11 of what we consider to be the most like everyday oils. So that's coming up. So check out those videos as well. But I'm going to get started now just talking a little bit about the 3 ways that you can use oil. So first way you probably know is to smell, basically, to inhale. So it can be as easy as opening up a bottle and taking a deep breath. That's one way to inhale. You can use a diffuser. So you're adding water and the oils and they're diffusing into the air over time. And, you know, that's a great thing to do kind of preventatively, to use oils, like just sort of lay the foundation in your home. You want a calm morning, have those diffusing. That's a great thing to do. You can also put like a drop of oil in your hand to inhale it. Rub your hands together. Take a deep breath in. This is a diffuser bracelet. You can put oil in there, smell throughout the day. Okay, so those are all ways that we're inhaling or using like our olfactory system to use the oil. The next way is ingesting. So Young Living has FDA approved dietary oils that are called their Vitality line. And I will show you those. I'm not going to go into the specifics of the oils in here today, but I will talk briefly about them in terms of ingesting. So if you see, this is Peppermint Vitality, and this is Peppermint Essential Oil. Now, this has a white label. This is our Vitality line. And basically, I can show you this in terms of marketing or just like advertising and say this can be ingested. However, it's really the same oil as regular peppermint. It's just really like a marketing thing and an FDA thing. So these are the same, but when you hear me talking about like a recipe where you use peppermint in like a chocolate drizzle, you're going to see the Vitality bottle because that's FDA approved for ingestion. So you might have heard like various opinions on ingesting oils. You certainly don't have to ingest oils. It's not the only way, obviously, to use them. So if you don't ingest them, you can still use them the other 2 ways. But if you are making like common sense decisions and adding, I really like to add, I have like a 32-ounce water bottle here. In the morning, fill it up with ice. And then I do 1 or 2 drops of lemon oil. The great thing about lemon oil is it's not acidic like lemon juice, so you get the flavor without the acidity. And then I fill it up with water like after the oil's gone on the ice, and then it's really nice flavoring and it like detoxes. So that's another way. You can also put oils in a capsule to ingest them with the carrier oil. You can put them under the tongue. You can cook with them, like I said. And the French teach about ingesting oils, and there are some oils that cannot be ingested. If there's a Vitality oil for that oil, then it's safe to be ingested. And in fact, the FDA says so. And they're pretty strict. So that is the second way to use oils. Finally, topically. So if you think about the birth control patch or a nicotine patch, I don't use either. However, when you place it on your arm, the medicine from the patch goes into your skin and then gets into your bloodstream. And, you know, it's the same way, like anything that we put on our body gets absorbed into our bloodstream, which is really why it's important to be cognizant of the things we're putting on our body as well as in our body, because they're going to wind up in our body if we're putting them on our skin. Um, so like oils that we're now using beneficial things on our skin. And then we can take advantage of those therapeutic properties. So for instance, you have a roller bottle, and I'll talk about carrier oils in a minute. You have a couple, let's say you have like 6 different oils that you want to put in here. You have a few drops of each, and then you fill the rest up with carrier oil and rub it on you. Great place to start when you're doing topical use is the bottom of your feet, because the bottom of your feet are pretty rough. And they just, especially with kiddos, it's a great place to start. And we'll talk a little bit more about diluting. Those are the 3 ways, right? So inhale, smell, right? Ingest, drink, like add to food, whatever. And then topical use on the skin. Okay. Some safety tips. Don't put oils in your eyes. Just like most things, have a warning label like don't put in your eyes. And if you do, flush out. If you get essential oils in your eyes, do not flush with water. Water actually is going to push the oil farther in. Instead, you want to use more of the carrier oil, which we'll talk about in a second. And that will flush the actual essential oil out of the eye, or any reaction that you're having. You would add carrier oil to it and then wipe it off, as opposed to adding soap and water, which will actually drive the oil farther in. And the reaction will be worse. So like I showed you when I use oils in my water, this is stainless steel. You can use glass or stainless steel. Don't use plastic. Don't use styrofoam. Any of those synthetic materials, just not so great. Either they can kind of mess up the bottle a little bit, the oils themselves, or you have the plastics and the styrofoam leaching into what you're drinking or consuming or whatever, and that's not good either. That's a whole nother story, plastics and all that other material, but there's lots of fun things out there that aren't so great for us. If you want to add oils to a bath, the best way to do that is to add them to Epsom salts and then add the Epsom salts to the bath. That way they kind of disperse through the water better, and they're not all in one spot. And if you have an oil that has some sort of like warming or cooling property, they're not all condensed in one area. It's dispersed throughout the bath. Your oils need to be stored in a cool and dark place. Citrus oils are photosensitive. So if you apply them topically, so if you put something in like a face cream, like a lemon oil, and then rub it on your face and go outside, you're very prone to burning. So if you're going to put any citrus oils on your skin, you want to wait 12 hours before you're in direct sunlight. If that area is covered with clothes, you're fine. It's just, you don't want your skin being exposed after having that on you. It's going to not be so great. And so, when you store your oils, they need to be out of the sun, because the sun can kind of like come in. Now, if you see the bottles, they're an amber bottle, so it does block some of the sun out. But it's better to, for their effectiveness, to keep them out of the sun. So a little bit about carrier oils. So a lot of people are confused about the difference between a carrier oil and an essential oil. So an essential oil is the essence of the plant. So it has the properties and the aroma of the actual plant. And they are not essential oils because they're essential to us. They're the essence of the plant, essential. That's where the essential part comes from. And they are very volatile, which means that they evaporate very quickly. So one of the reasons that we use carrier oils is because carrier oils do not evaporate as quickly. So in mixing the carrier oil with the essential oil, they stay on our skin and absorb into our skin and stay like present longer than if we apply the essential oil by themselves, and that evaporates into the air, and we lose the therapeutic qualities quicker than using a carrier oil. Also, when we reduce the concentration of the essential oil with a carrier oil, we kind of like, you don't like use it up as quickly. So it is kind of a way to conserve your essential oils. And carrier oils do not have a strong aroma. Like some of them have a stronger aroma than others, and they all like vary in consistency, and shelf life and texture and all of that stuff. But in general, they are, like they have a shorter shelf life. So you have to kind of be wary of that. And like, if you make a bunch of roller bottles, make sure that you're going to use them, because the carrier oil itself will go bad before the essential oil. Carrier oils are high in fat, and that's the reason that they go bad quicker. You want to keep your carrier oils in an airtight container, stuff like that. So when I first started using oils, I was like really hesitant to use carrier oils because I thought I was diluting the actual properties of the oils. So here it's like I'm watering it down, but that's actually not the case. Because it's helping our body absorb them better because it's not evaporating the essential oil. We're actually getting the therapeutic properties for a longer period of time, and they can be more helpful. So contrary to what I thought in the beginning, you really do, like, you're not making it less potent because you're using a carrier oil. So that's good. Oils that are hot oils are like thieves, lemongrass, oregano is definitely hot oil. Thyme, peppermint. Peppermint is more cooling, the sensation you would get, but it can be too intense for some people. So you want to, oils like that, you want to dilute for sure, at least initially, and apply to a small area at first and kind of make sure that there's no reaction or anything like that, and just to make sure the dilution ratio is good. I have a whole like chart about dilution ratios that I can share with you if you need information on that. But the bottle itself will tell you suggestions, and those suggestions are for adults. If you're using with kids, I'll do a whole other class on using kids with oils with kids. And there's different criteria and suggestions for diluting based on age, weight, all that stuff for kiddos. So be aware. I already said that. Yeah, you never want to use water if you're having like a skin reaction or anything, because it will not flush it away. It will actually drive it more, or it will drive it deeply into the skin or the eye or wherever you're having an issue, and the reaction will be worse. So try to avoid oils into your eyes at all costs. I do have like a tension roller that I use that's around the eyes. So when you're applying around the eyes, make sure that nothing's dripping into your eyes. Common sense. And don't put oils into your actual ear. If you want to use them, you can put them on a cotton ball and put them just kind of like in the outer ear, or you can roll oils behind your ear or like on the outer ear here, like the rim, but not actually in your ear canal. Unless that an oil is okay to be ingested, don't ingest it. So basically, just common sense. So, what else do we have here? Okay, so some people ask me about like which carrier oils I prefer. Young Living has a V6 vegetable oil complex oil that I like a lot. I also use a fractionated coconut oil that I get off of Amazon that has a pump that's really nice. The pump's nice because once you add the oils in here, you can just pump the carrier oil into the roller bottle, and you're good to go. And that's really nice for traveling with oils. It's pre-diluted. You can just grab it, roll it on. Not a big deal. So I said Amazon, Young Living. I have a couple oils that I use more in DIYs that I've gotten at the grocery store, like jojoba oil, vitamin E oil, sweet almond oil, olive oil, solid formed coconut oil, which is nice when you're doing like a thicker rub or a cream that you want to add some oils to. So the opposite of diluting an oil is called using it neat. And there are certain oils you can use neat, certainly after you've already used them and you know that you're not going to have a reaction to them. There are some essential oils from Young Living that are already pre-diluted. The whole kids line is already pre-diluted, and there's a few other ones that have a carrier oil in them and don't need to be diluted, but can be. And those would be based on your preference, as long as, you know, you're not having any sort of reaction, stuff like that. So just to review, so we can inhale, right? Diffuser, just through the bottle, even just like putting a cotton ball with essential oil on it and putting that in your car. Always to inhale and use your olfactory system to be like getting that like dose of the oil. You're not like, I guess you're consuming it in one way or another. So that's one. Second one, ingesting, like we talked about, and then topical use. So 3 ways to use them, not super overwhelming. I think the best way to sort of do this is to break it down and not overwhelm you. The great thing about joining Young Living and doing oils, because I've done it on my own and not been super successful, is that you get this really awesome community along with it. You have me, you have 5,000 people in our oil collective community that are in various like stages of their journey with oils, and then some great leaders too. About using oils with pets, there's a class for that. If you have a question about using oils in cooking or with exercise or anything really, there's an oil for that and there's a class for that. So like I said, I'm going to be teaching some more individual classes. So when you're done with this video, if you're watching this in the next few days, there won't be anything yet. I do have some other videos, but I'm going to put up a video where I go over our starter kit. So just briefly, I'll touch on the oils, and then you can kind of catch my next video where I talk more in depth about each of these, one per video. So I have Peppermint Vitality, Digest Vitality, Thieves Vitality, Lemon Vitality, Copaiba Vitality. And then our kit has changed since I got mine. So we have Citrus Fresh, Lavender, Frankincense, Raven, and did I say Citrus Fresh or Raven? I don't know. And Panaway. And then we have Stress Away. Also in the kit, we have some samples of Ningxia Red, Thieves Household Cleaner, some goodies, but I will talk more about that later. So you can check me out on Facebook. Hippie Mama Essential Oils on Facebook. I have a group. I have a page. If you want to friend me on Facebook, on my personal page, Katie Lunstra, Katie Lunstra, Lunstra. I do a lot of my live videos on my personal page because I just find it to be easier. So friend me on there. I'm also on Instagram, Hippie Mama Essential Oils. I'm on Twitter, Hippie Mama EOs, I think it is. But I'm going to have a lot of other cool stuff up here soon. So I hope you learned a little bit something tonight about just kind of the basics of the ways to use oils. And I look forward to teaching you guys a little bit more in the future. All right, take care. Have a good night.